talk a little bit about mushrooms. So we have a variety of mushrooms here today, and there are many, many more varieties, but what I was able to get at the store this morning were shiitakes. I have cremini, or baby bellas, which are actually portabellas that were not allowed to grow up. So let's get ready to clean up the portabella. Now this is not a huge portabella. They come much bigger than this, but no matter what size they are, what you want to do is take out the stem. We just dust our mushrooms with a damp paper towel to get all the dust off of them. The dust is actually it's a sterile growing medium, so it's not going to hurt you, but of course it looks better to take it away. The other thing you want to do with a portabella is you want to take a spoon and you want to pull out all of these little gills that are inside. It's really just something that will discolor your dish. It won't change the flavor, but you want to remove these so that it doesn't discolor your dish. If you're making a mushroom sauce or something like that, it would just make it a darker color than you really want it to be. So remove the stem, take your spoon, and pull out those gills. Okay, now we're ready to slice these up. I'm going to use my chef's knife. Generally, when I'm using a portabello, I want nice thick slices. Portabello is called vegetarian filet mignon. So you could grill this, and it would be like having a burger, a vegetarian burger, or a piece of filet mignon. So I'm going to cut them in half, and then I'll slice them thinly with my chef's knife. And set them aside and go on to the next one. Okay, now that would be ready to use. And I'm going to take a look at my baby portabellas or my creminis. You would treat these the same way you would treat the white mushrooms. And for these, since they've been cleaned up very nicely, I really don't have to do much to them other than slice them or quarter them, depending on what I was going to use them for. If I wanted to put these in a stew pot, I might even put them in whole, or perhaps just cut them in half. If I could get some really small ones, I would put the small mushrooms right in the stew or the soup or the beef burgundy without even cutting them. So here's an example of a nice small one that you could just throw right in the pot. This one's rather large. Let's cut this one in half. Now the shiitakes have a very tough stem, so depending what you're using this for, you might want to remove the stem, which is very easy to do. If you're going to be putting them in a long cooking dish, a soup, a stew, or something like that, you don't have to remove the stem, but that stem does need to cook a long time. A braised dish would be another example of a dish that you wouldn't have to remove the stem. But since I would probably be using these in a really quick sauce, I'm going to remove that stem. Okay. And that's it. It's really easy to get those mushrooms ready for any dish that you want to cook with your Cutco chef's knife.